Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moon Mage. This is weekly tarot messages. If you are new here, these are essentially just quick snapshots, quicker tarot messages connected to the potential energies coming your way in your week ahead. And we look at some challenges that may arise along with some guidance and advice so that you can hopefully navigate your week ahead in the best possible way. But I always tell everyone that when you land on these messages, regardless of the dates, was when you were meant to hear those messages. That's when these energies are going to be prevalent for you. So don't get too caught up in the dates. Also want to quickly mention that I have a Samhain video out right now, along with a meditation. Very, very prevalent right now as far as the energies and the thinning of the veil and really making connections for what's to come and what we're trying to manifest as well as what we're trying to release. And there's a full moon in Taurus happening this week on Wednesday, November 5th. And so I have put out a video in regards to that and the energy it's bringing in yesterday. So there could be some overlap. So if you're interested, you could have a look at those as well. And there will be a meditation to connect into the positive aspects of the full moon in Taurus as well, if you are interested. Give yourself a second using your own intuition without overthinking it to feel into messages 1 through 4. And I will get started here with message number 1. Hello, message 1. All right, let's have a look and see what do my beautiful message 1 choosers need to know going into this week. What is showing up for my message 1s? All right. Okay, we have Queen of Wands in reverse. So Queen of Wands connects into passion, creativity, inspiration. And because it's in reverse, there could be a call to action here to try to ignite the fire within of inspiration, creativity, getting excited and passionate about things and life again. But we'll see what else comes out with that. But that's what she definitely connects to when she's reversed. There's a suggestion here that this is a piece of ourselves that's missing, that spark, that thing that lights us up from the inside out. Ooh. Okay, you know what? This just completely flipped over. I didn't even have to shuffle, so we're going to go with that. Change. As with the falling leaves, embrace change, right? And that makes a lot of sense with Queen of Wands in reverse, suggesting that allowing change to come in, being more open to it, is the thing that gets us excited again for the newness of things, for the potentiality that we can manifest and grow at this time. And there's a lot of that potential right now. So leaning into change, allowing it, embracing it as something exciting to be open to rather than feared. Because I know as humans, we all want change, but we also fear it. And it's a hard thing because we're holding opposites. This could be a thing that a lot of you are experiencing. I know that I need to have some change in my life. I know I need to shake things up to bring that spark back in for myself, but I'm not exactly sure how to embrace that because it's a little bit scary, right? It means getting out of our comfort zones. And I think that's a thing here as well that I'm feeling for you guys. But this week is likely to bring in the opportunity for change and a kind of a new start where you feel more connected to your internal spark. Nice. We've got victory. I'm noticing the number 28. I'm not sure why, but that could be important for some of you. The garden and the gate and the challenge position, which makes a lot of sense with the change card there. We'll talk about it once we've pulled all the cards here. Goddess of the Moon in reverse. Actually, this is a very good card to see in reverse. And the yin yang in reverse. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this message 1. So there's definitely a call to action this week where if you embrace some kind of change, some sort of opportunity and offering, I think is coming your way, and it'll bring in and usher in beautiful energy, creativity, that feeling of being excited about something again. But there are some issues here, right? When we've got the garden in the gate and the challenge position, it's suggesting that we're really stuck in our comfort zone. We contemplate, we're looking out, we're thinking about it, but we're not actually acting on or doing anything with this restlessness within. But there is some sort of offering or opportunity this week that will allow for this to happen. But it does look like there's a little bit of a warning, a heads up that you may be afraid to say yes to it, to take this opportunity. With the goddess of the moon in reverse, this, when it's up like this, it's saying we need to draw down the moon. We need to draw down our intuition. We need to lean in and start trusting our feelings and our gut more. That's the suggestion, but it's reversed, suggesting that you are likely to have some sort of intuition come through this week, some sort of idea, inspiration coming through for you, and you're meant to lean on it, do something with it, act upon it. And I feel like this is a thing that's been missing because, you know, with this other energy here of victory, this is what's showing up for you. This is the outcome, essentially. This is what would be offered. Feelings of victory, feeling like you're finally moving in a direction that you can feel good about, that things are starting to turn in your favor, that energy and that fiery spark that's been missing is finally ignited again. And I feel like it leads to some kind of cornucopia, like some sort of, what am I trying to say here? Abundance, really, some sort of abundance where you're feeling really good about things, like a win. As this says, it's a victory. But here's a big heads up too, because this is in the outcome position and it's in the reverse, suggesting that there's been an imbalance, right? Yin yang out of balance. That feminine energy of creativity, passion, inspiration's been quelled, and that more yang energy of living in the day to day, doing the mundane things that we have to do. Just living our lives and kind of going through the motions without really feeling any excitement. But it's reversed, suggesting that it's not so much a call to action to find this balance, but this victory, this opportunity that wants to show up for you this week, this change, it's like a change maker for you, is going to bring in better balance here, where that part of yourself is no longer in quietude all the time. It's not like sitting on the shelf waiting for something to happen. I do think that there's this danger, this little bit of a fear here, though, that I'm afraid to move out of my comfort zone. I'm restless and in need of this change, but there's fear that evokes within me about the what if energy. Like, what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm making a wrong decision? This feels like yes energy to me, though, right? Because you've got victory, you've got your intuition coming in to help with this. I feel like spirit guides around you right now, helping you to feel empowered by these opportunities rather than fearful from them. So I feel like for you guys, if you catch yourself in fear, worry, anxiety, what if energy, remind yourself that there is no beauty or abundance or victory in living an ordinary life or a life unseen or in the shadows where we have desires, but we continue to say no to them because we fear what the outcomes will be. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But yeah, you have a real opportunity to get back into balance and to show up differently, I feel like. And say yes. I just feel like saying yes this week is going to be a good thing for you. But trust in your gut too, because maybe that's another part of yourself, because that's connected to that feminine energy that you've been ignoring, right? Saying yes to new opportunities that would feel good. Maybe they scare you a little bit. That's okay. Sort of like feel the fear and do it anyways. But ultimately, this feels like it could be a really good thing for you. I also think, as an aside note here, for those of you who have been trying to do something that's been creative, trying to get lift off with it, see some sort of results, I feel like the opportunity to expand on that and make that happen can come in this week by way of your intuition, something that comes through for you that you are meant to act on, and it brings about some sort of abundance and positive change your way. Look at that. Black Panther energy. Call in Black Panther energy. Black Panthers are very much a bridge from the spirit world to the earthly plane. So this is really something you'd want to embody, especially with that intuition, suggesting that you're going to receive intuitive hits this week. Follow your passion. Follow your passion, right? Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, even if it scares you a little bit, right? No risk, no reward kind of energy. showing up for you this week, though. Opportunities that are for the positive, that'll shake things up for you in a really good way. It's just about confronting the fear that may stop you from doing that. It's also an opportunity to get into much better balance, right? We're embracing more of that intuitive, creative, passionate, emotional side of ourselves rather than just, that masculine, action-oriented doing, but kind of on automatic pilot rather than from a place of passion. All right, message one. I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week. Take care, guys. Hello, message two. Okay, what do my beautiful message two choosers need to know going into this week? What is showing up for message two? We have Queen of Cups in reverse. Very interesting because we had Queen of Wands for message one, and now we've got another Queen energy of Cups in reverse, suggesting there's some sort of disconnect or dissonance within your emotional body with your feminine side. So this is connected to things like nurturing, comfort, feelings of safety, but also in your intuition, very much feeling like you can trust your gut instincts and you're being led by way of intuition and feeling rather than thinking and overthinking and thought. And it's in the reverse. So finding our way back to this energy of feeling really strong and centered in our emotions. We'll see what else comes out with that though for you guys. Lots of divine feminine energy showing up this week. Play. Among the grass and wild violets lie undisturbed little secrets to uncover. Yeah, and it makes sense because we've got Queen of Cups in the reverse, suggesting emotionally we're not feeling necessarily centered, sound, or good, right? There's something disrupting our heart space, our sense of emotional stability and safety. And the suggestion here is allowing yourself some downtime, rest, respite, anything that brings you joy and joyful play will up-level your energy, but also bring some sort of intuition your way, something that you need to know, where you actually feel connected to that soul self, that spirit again, right? Because it says undisturbed little secrets to uncover. You get to know the truth around something. So there could be an energy here too around truths being revealed for you this week, which would make some sense because we've got a full moon happening in Taurus. So there could be something quite revelatory that comes through for you if you can find a way to bring your emotions back into balance and allow yourself some downtime, some playful energy, things that bring you joy. This is when I think you will receive some intuitive hits, but wisdom coming through the crown area. It will find its way to you is what I feel like. More easily, right? When we're not stuck in our emotions and we're not really heavy in our bodies. Patience in reverse. Yeah. So maybe some of you are emotionally all tied up and caught up in worry about something manifesting. And there's a lot of anxiousness around this. Having a hard time kind of letting go and letting God and trusting that whatever is meant to be will be in divine timing. Losing patience with something, causing your emotions to be out of balance. Okay, the sun. We've got the sun here in the challenge position. And look, she's in that water. So she's balanced, right? She's in the water, calm, centered, just like that Queen of Cups would be if she was upright, with the sun shining down on her, feeling good, feeling like everything is working out, everything is moving in the direction it's supposed to. But you're really challenged to feel this. Definitely a lot of worry and anxiety that my message twos are dealing with right now. Because that is it going to happen energy is here. Look, storm warning in reverse. There's definitely a huge higher message here for you, my group twos, that you don't need to worry or be so anxious about what's going to happen, an outcome of sorts. Really being emotionally tied up in what ifs and fear of what could happen, whatever you're dealing with, because it's going to be different for all of you. And this is a general read. I feel like Spirit jumped in a very big way to say, the chaos that you maybe have had to deal with, the hardships, this is in the reverse. The storm is over. It's not coming your way. You're coming to the end of something difficult. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You can relax your energy and your emotional body now. Release all this tension that you're holding. Trust that things are going to come into fruition in a positive way for you, and allow yourself to get more emotionally centered and let go of the fear around this. I know that's a hard ask, but I feel like this is your heads up. Like it's all going to be okay. The storm is over. The hardship is over. This is passing. And I don't know what this is that I'm feeling. I feel like, I don't know if maybe some of you, maybe let me know in the comments. Have some of you been like almost feeling like you're receiving little breadcrumbs around something, like your intuition has been trying to tell you something, but there's been too much worry, fear, and anxiety to really to notice it, or you've been pushing it aside? Because I keep in this energy of breadcrumbs. So either like little breadcrumbs of intuition, synchronicity, events that are good and positive want to be coming your way and you want to be noticing them, or that they already have and you need to revisit them. Strange, but just something. Yeah. We've got the thinking man in reverse. Excuse me. Sorry, message too. No longer needing to be in your head, right? Getting out of overthinking, right? Because when it's upright, sometimes that's suggesting we need to stop, pause, and use our brains a little bit. But it's the opposite for you guys. You can relax your mind now. The hard part is over. The storm is passing. It is, and I really do feel like this is the card that it wants to become your outcome, but patience required to get here. It's like giving yourself permission to relax your energy now, go into play, do things that bring you joy and comfort and safety so that you can get back into an emotional sense of empowerment and centeredness, and trust that. I feel like Spirit's really got your back this week, and they're going to be sending you signs and help along the way. But the big ask here is to trust and believe that everything is starting to turn in a much better direction now. The hard part is over. You really can relax your anxieties and worries and fears right now. It almost feels like if some of you have been waiting for some kind of truth, information, answer, outcome, and it's like really been eating you up, you might even receive that this week. But if it doesn't come this week, I feel like the energy is still saying it's time to relax and trust, because it's going to turn in your favor. Hopefully that makes some sense. Yeah. Sometimes too, once we've been through hardship, it can be really hard to release the anxiety that our body started to experience because of a situation. So it's almost like we stay in an energy of fight or flight. And I do feel like that could be a thing for some of you, having a hard time pulling yourself out of that energy of fight or flight. Like you're still in an experience where you have to be on top of everything. But again, I keep coming back to the hardest part's over. You can breathe out, you can relax. This is that breadcrumbs energy I was feeling. Look at this, owls and omens. It says, pay attention to signs. Definitely hear a message too. You're going to be guided. Stay open to little serendipitous, synchronistic things that show up in your path. I definitely feel like Spirit, the divine, the universe is going to be sending you signs and little breadcrumbs. And I keep saying breadcrumbs because it might be subtle. But if we're centered, if we can find our way to emotional balance, you won't miss this. I definitely think that you'll see the signs. But if we're staying tied up in that anxious fight or flight mode, you might miss it. So pay attention to signs and omens. You're going to be guided this week to something that's going to be quite positive, that helps you get into this energy, into that Queen of Cups upright, where she's like, I'm empowered by my emotions. I'm not being drowned by them. Pay attention to signs and omens. Absolutely. Yeah. On the bottom, I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to look at this. On the bottom is Lynx energy, and it says discernment. Look beyond immediate appearances. Something to that too, right? Widening our perspective around something. I think it helps to see the truth in a way that we hadn't seen it before, to notice things that we hadn't noticed before. Again, all this gets quieted and quelled by anxiety and being in that fight or flight mode. But this is coming in for you as well this week, that ability to discern, to notice, to see the things that you need to see. And I feel like it's going to be quite helpful for you guys. All right. Okay, I am going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week, and really give yourself over to some relaxation, meditation, and joyful play. Really going to be helpful for you guys. Take care. Hello, message 3. All right. What do my beautiful message 3 choosers need to know going into this week? What kind of energy is showing up for my message 3s? Ooh, okay, how many cards is that? That's too many. We're going to have to put that back. That would be like the whole reading there. I will say I did notice the death card showed up. That was the first thing that caught my eye. So that can often mean it's never usually an actual literal death. It's usually like a metaphorical one, ending something. So that could be significant for some of you, but we'll see what actual card comes out. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune. Interesting, because I noticed that death card, which usually suggests it's time to end off something. Letting go of a cycle, saying, I'm done with this now. That chapter of my life is closed. I'm ready to start a new one. And the Wheel of Fortune is just sort of reiterates that, saying, okay, the wheel is turning. When we were down, now we're going on an up cycle, which is a new beginning. So something fortuitous could be showing up for you guys this week. Things are starting to shift and change for you. Sometimes this could be opportunities as well. Okay. Bloom and attract more than butterflies. Yeah. So a couple of things with this card. One, it is absolutely, there's some sort of new cycle starting, that Wheel of Fortune. Things are turning, a new beginning is coming. But remember, I saw that death card upright, which I think was on purpose to say, what do you have to end, cut, sever yourself from, and release for this new thing to come in. But also there's a message here to not settle for low-hanging fruit, so to speak. So it's sort of like widening your perspective, dreaming a little bit bigger, and attracting more than what you could have possibly imagined. I feel like there's some sort of opportunity around that. It just feels like, maybe not the best time to be only settling for what seems realistic and practical right now, which is interesting because Taurian energy is all about creating stability and connecting to what we value, and what's sustainable, right? So it can be a very practical energy. But for you guys, I feel like there's some sort of like, because it's saying attract more than butterflies, I feel like it's reach higher than you would have before, and believe that you can have the higher thing, the better thing, right? Whereas Taurus oftentimes can get really fixed in the sense of, oh, well, this is what's realistic and practical. This is what's going to bring in stability. Do I love it? No. Do I feel a passion by it? No, but I'm going to do it. But I feel like it's going to be different for you guys. So this might even look like you get more than one opportunity show up for you this week. And there's this little subtle message for some of you to choose the one that might scare you a little bit, but makes your heart sing, rather than the one that just might seem good on paper. Okay, we've got action in reverse. I'm immediately noticing the number 17 down there, so that could be significant for some of you. The temple path. We're going to talk about that. It's coming out in the challenge position. The thinking man. Definitely need to take some time to contemplate and reflect before making any decisions. And envy in the reverse. Okay, that's always a good card to see in reverse. All right. So, message 3. Opportunities are definitely wanting to show up for you. There is a chance to have a new start somewhere where you're, again, like I said, following your heart, going higher and not settling for the thing that looks good on paper. And there's definitely a danger of that, because with the temple path being in the challenge position, there is a suggestion here that you've probably been choosing based more on realistic, practical things rather than what your heart really wants. But there's an opportunity to get on your temple path in some way. It could be the very first step, so very subtle. But I feel like there's a lot of resistance here to releasing, letting go of something from the past, ties that you have, a way of being, maybe a career for some of you. So a lot of resistance to this new start that is more connected to your soul self and what your soul and your purpose is, right? And so rather than taking action, we need to end off and release the things that might be holding us back from getting on our temple path this week, and needing to take time to think things through and reflect. Because this energy of envy over here, right? Coming out of wanting what other people have, or seeing their story through your lens, where we don't necessarily have all the information. We only see what's going good. And that's what people show us, right? They show us the best parts of their life. I think of social media, where it looks like everything's going really well for somebody, but we don't actually know what's going on behind the scenes. I also think that maybe some of you have dealt with envious people. Maybe you feel that energy and it's kind of blocked you from allowing yourself to receive blessings and this energy around following your heart's true calling and receiving abundance as a result of it. That's going a little deep. But I do actually wonder if other people's energies and the way that they view you, and you making yourself smaller to make other people feel comfortable and okay with their lives, is a part of this equation that needs to be released. Either way, you're meant to be putting an end to something this week. You're meant to be choosing higher for yourself and not settling, not dimming yourself down or making yourself small to make other people feel comfortable. You have the potential here to attract bigger, more beautiful things where you're actually on the right path that is resonant with your soul and your purpose and your passion. But before we make any hasty decisions, we need to make sure that we're dropped into our heart space, that we're feeling things through and thinking things through, so that you don't move towards something just out of habit or just, again, because it looks good on paper. I almost feel like for some of you, who knows, maybe it's just one of you, where there's this connection to a person that affects your energy, especially your emotional body. And it feels almost like you're an empath, and it messes with your ability to discern, like you can do it, but then they come in and something about their energy messes with yours and you like shrink down. Very specific for somebody out there. I definitely think that might be a thing for some of you though, or one of you. I mean, all I can really say is notice that. If you notice yourself doing that, cut that off. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the heads up and the awareness of what your energy is doing to mine. You can say this to yourself internally and cut yourself off from that. Even, if you're open to it, ask Archangel Michael to cut your ties and energy from theirs. Only what's yours. I definitely think somebody here is really deeply affected by somebody's heavier, darker, more toxic energy. Moose, authority. You know what is best for you. And the moose is connected to the third eye, being able to see what's best for them, having the vision to say, I can see what I could have and what's possible for me, what's coming up for my future, almost psychically. But this is being shut down. I definitely think somebody's being affected by somebody else's energy. Maybe many of you. You know what is best for you. Do you know anybody else talk you into the thing that seems the most practical or realistic? Follow your heart and no hasty decisions this week. You have opportunities, but we must release ourselves here, message 3, from other people's energies, especially if they seem to have a lot of opinions and it's more on the negative side. Just be very mindful of that. The tide is starting to turn in your favor. That wheel of fortune is turning in a way that could really benefit you where you're on your temple path. But there is, because it's in the challenge, you're going to feel challenged to choose it for yourself. And I do think some of this is connected to other people and making yourself feel small so that other people feel comfortable. Be very aware and mindful of that. You don't need to make any hard and fast decisions this week, but you do need to connect to your heart. Be aware of the energies around you and how they might affect you. And then I think after this, that wheel starts to move in it quicker. The energy starting to speed up where you're going to be asked to take action on some things. So you're going to want to be ready for that. So just a heads up there, message 3. All right. And that 17, I'm still attracted to it. Maybe the 17th day of a month is going to be important. But I'm attracted to it. So, but I will leave that there. And I do hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week this week. Take care, guys. Hello, message 4. Right. Let's have a look and see what do my beautiful message 4 choosers need to know going into this week. What type of energy is showing up? There's 2 cards. They're both face up. One is reversed and one is upright. I don't know why I'm telling you this because you can't see it, but I'm going to go pick them up. Okay, message 4. I picked these up. Now we've got a 2 of Pentacles in reverse, suggesting that there's some sort of financial imbalance in our life or where we're not feeling as secure as we'd like to. And this is Taurus energy that we're moving into as far as the full moon is concerned. So a really good time to sort this kind of energy out: security, financial stability, how we feel around things of this nature. And then we've got 8 of Pentacles upright. So for you guys, there's something imbalanced here in our effort and our ability to do hard work, or to, conversely lean away from working too hard and trying to be productive rather than, maybe we're being called to take a step back and see, like, do I have enough balance here in my life? Am I too much in hustle culture, productivity, work hard, but I've forgotten like I have a whole other emotional side to me? For some of you, that's probably going to be part of the equation. And for others, it could be that we need to put more effort in right now to create that stability that we really want, that balance and security in our financial life, in our careers, or whatever it is that you may be trying to create or build at this time. Let's see. Because I think it's going to be a little bit of both, a little bit of A, a little bit of B. I think that was the bottom card there. Change. Okay, as with the falling leaves, embrace change. Yeah, so, and for you guys, this is definitely connected to some sort of sustainability, security, financial life. So it could be career as well, but money. Embracing change. You might even have an opportunity for a career advancement of some sort that's going to require some hard work, but it will bring things back into balance and you'll feel more secure and stable. Yeah. Also, this whole week, there's this like overarching energy of embracing a new cycle, like really letting go of the past and saying yes to new things that ultimately and in the long run are going to benefit us. And I definitely think that's a thing for my message 4s. Something coming through, a new way. And I do think for some of you, it's going to require some hard work and effort, but worth it in the end. And then, for others, maybe there's like you've been toiling away and putting a lot of hard work and effort into something that feels like it's going nowhere, but that could be because it's like a door that's shut and there's a better door, providing the kind of change and stability that you've been wanting. I definitely think there's a dual message for you guys. Yeah, journey in the reverse. patience. Hard work pays off, right? But we have to be patient through the process. Definitely a thing there, right? That you're probably challenged with. Feeling like you're getting nowhere fast with journey being in the reverse too. Like, am I wasting my time? Am I just spinning my wheels? Is all this hard work and effort for nothing? I feel like that's not the case. Message 4. Appreciation. This is also a very good week about really doing some gratitude practices. That could be something that really benefits you guys. Message 4, right? We can get really stuck in what's not happening and what's not working, and it almost acts as a barrier to it starting to turn in our favor and start manifesting something to consider. Yeah, attachment. Okay. I'm wondering if some of you are attached to a particular outcome with all the effort and work that you've been putting in, because you're still feeling this imbalance where things aren't as stable as you'd like them to be. You know, you're exhausted. Your energy has been maybe like to a point of depletion. And it's like I've had my foot on the gas for so long, and I'm so attached to a very specific outcome and a timeline for that outcome. And I've forgotten my why. I've forgotten the joy in the process. I've forgotten to enjoy the journey and to appreciate everything and every lesson I've learned along the way, the person I'm becoming, the value in being the builder of this thing. Because, ultimately there is change that's going to come. And I do think that there's a perspective that needs to be shifted as well. Maybe not being too attached to a very specific outcome or way of doing things, because I think there's a new way coming forward for you that's going to bring about change quicker than what's been happening. And where you don't have to feel like you're exhausting your energy and depleting yourself so hard, running yourself into the ground. But for others, I feel like maybe we've been a little bit imbalanced with the effort and the work. Like we need a practical plan around what we're doing. So consistency to see the liftoff and the change that we want. Because I keep feeling dual messages. I'm noticing too, we've got 15 and 5 here. So fives are the number of change. Yeah, there's something with fives. Pay attention to fives if they show up for you. Yeah, and on the bottom, we have yin yang in reverse. So there's sort of like this where there's been imbalance, right? Maybe you've been too much in one or the other. And this is a part of the issue, right? With the exhaustive energy and the attachment, that tunnel vision energy. You need to sort that out to get to a place where we feel stable, secure, comfortable, like where our ships are finally coming in. Definitely. And I do think they're going to message 4. I'm also noticing that there's a ship there. Something about that. See there, the ship's coming in, this person upright, like where am I in balance? Where do I need more security? I've got one foot into one aspect of myself, creativity, and the other is in the practical action oriented, but it's in the reverse. So where do you feel like there's a little bit of imbalance? Are you too heavy on the working hard, tunnel vision, and expectation of timelines and how something should manifest? Or have you been inconsistent with the work and still expecting that? Like, having an attachment to a particular, again, timeline expectation. I feel like if you can sort that out and bring yourself back into balance and calm, move through patience, kind of embrace appreciation for all the things that you have got right, that have been working out, or that you've learned, you're going to shift the energy in such a way that you're going to bring about the change that you seek quicker, but it might look slightly different than what you had previously thought. But it's like, even better than you thought. But we might need to look at some ideas and perspectives as well, where there might need to be a little bit of tweaking here. But yeah, change wants to come through. It wants to happen. But there's something within your mental, energetic body that I think that needs to shift to help this happen more quickly. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. I feel like doing some grounding practices for yourself this week, really getting yourself sorted and centered, sitting down, with a journal and a pen and writing down everything that you want, everything that you feel, creating a plan and a blueprint, one that allows you to have time for rest, respite, rejuvenation, and appreciation, but also for action and toiling away in that 8 of Pentacles hard work energy. Because I definitely think this is out of sync and out of balance for you guys. And this message is more about look at that, sort that out so that we can bring you the changes that you deserve. I was feeling frog. I should have said that. Frog and purification, clear out the clutter, right? So it's that energy of, am I lacking consistency? Do I have a good blueprint around me? What needs to be changed and shifted? What am I attached to that maybe I need to let go of because it's hindering my progress rather than helping it? This is about purifying mind, body, and soul, but also quite literally, it could be your space. If you're in a space that feels hectic and chaotic, it's hard to be motivated or driven in that kind of an energetic space. So it could be that on a practical level, that would be beneficial to you. But this is more about purifying your body, mind, soul, clearing out the clutter, looking at our attachments, giving them over, letting them go for release. And then it feels like this feeling of as if by magic, things start moving and you're like, oh my gosh, everything is in flow now. I'm feeling so much more in flow, more connected, back to center, appreciation, gratitude. Patience is easy for me now. It definitely feels like that. Look at the bottom. Links was on the bottom for one of the other messages. I can't remember which one. It says discernment. Look beyond immediate appearances. There's a little something that you're missing here, message for, that you need to see. That attachment to what the expectations and the ideas or concepts, it feels like once you release that, you see the truth of something, you see things more clearly. Look beyond immediate appearances, looking outside the box, more intuitive connecting rather than thinking too much. I feel like that's a part of the equation for you guys. But yeah, if you feel comfortable with it, if you feel called to it, call in links to help you with discernment, to see the truth around something, to understand your situation and release attachment so that you're open to the positive change that wants to come through. Yeah, look beyond immediate appearances, out of the box thinking, widening perspectives is going to be really beneficial for you this week. I feel like you guys are getting, set up for a aha moment, a lot of clarity and a big shift in something that you're doing. And I do feel like it requires some sort of blueprint and foundation underneath it and consistency. But then it's like the plane taking off. It takes off. Yes. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week. Take care, guys.